morning, Muscatine. It's Monday. We're all back. We're all here. We all survived the weekend, I think. It was a pretty big weekend. We went up to Linn-Mar Friday night. Boys had a tough game up there. But then Saturday, the Muskie volleyball girls had a tournament. And yet again, these girls decide that they're all going to hit their career milestones on the road when we're not there. Briley Seaman hit 500 kills, and the other Seaman, the sophomore, holy cow, I'm totally blanking. This is what happens when she hit 500 assists. She's literally in every highlight film that you see. She's always the one setting the ball. Holy cow. Well, anyway, congratulations. Oh, and Jansen hit 500 kills. So congratulations, girls. We will have a conversation later about you hitting all these magical milestones on the road when we're not broadcasting. We're going to talk about that, see what you're doing. But the girls play their last home game tomorrow night against Davenport West. Of course, we'll be there for that. And then the boys, the football team, hosts PV Friday night. Holy cow. It must have been a rough weekend because I cannot talk this morning. So I've got a feeling this is going to go off the rails. Luckily for everybody here, Dan is here, and Dan will save the day. You always do.
Oh, yeah.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
So Dan, if you would, introduce yourself for those that don't know, and then we're going to talk about your next awesome Jackson concert that you've got coming up.
Yep. So I'm Dan Laaveg. I'm the music director at Wesley United Methodist Church, and we are getting ready for a concert on Thursday afternoon with the Jackson Concert Series, which of course provides free concerts to the community.
Yep, and that's something that let's take a quick second and talk about that. The Jackson Concert Series was endowed how long ago?
The trust was written in 1970.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a 50-plus year,
The series itself is about 42 years old.
Right, and every year you guys pull in about how many concerts?
7 to 8.
7 to 8, yeah. It's most of the fall, winter, spring season sort of a thing. Mm-hmm. And there are always these cool, unique things that you wouldn't see otherwise. So that's awesome. And it's also one of those things that makes Muscatine, right? Mm-hmm. Things that you can do here, like this one is, and I apologize if I don't say this correctly, Adaawe. I practiced like 4 times beforehand, but you have Adaawe coming Thursday at 2, right?
Yes. Yep.
And it's at Wesleyan, completely free, like always,
yep.
Right?
400 Iowa Avenue.
Yep. So I always like to, because there's a couple churches in the old. It's the big gray one right across the street from MCSA. Mm-hmm. So what is Adaawe?
Yeah. So this is a women-led ensemble. Basically, it's contemporary global fusion. So these women are from all over the world, some from Africa, some from the U.S., some from, just various places. They call themselves the International Women of the Voice and Drum. So there's just a lot of mixing of things. There's you might hear a gospel song, you might hear Afro reggae, you will hear some just really driving traditional drums. And so, they really want to bring people together, celebrate diversity, and it's going to be really exciting.
Well, and what's really kind of cool about that is, Muscatine has I'm going to say this, a larger than you would expect, maybe on spec, African population. And it's really cool because one of our clients, Eddie Jagu, is has the African market on 2nd Street, and he works exporting American food products back over to the West African coast. And it's an awesome subculture that helps make Muscatine. And so just to even see that we in little old Muscatine out here in Iowa are the same melting pot that this group is, right? Mm-hmm. That is pulling together, and we have it all right here in Muscatine. You don't necessarily always think about that, but it's kind of a cool thing. Mm-hmm. So what else? They were in the Rose Parade?
Yeah, the 2022 Rose Parade. They performed with Leanne Rhymes.
So this is not like a little rinky-dink sort of a thing. These are like a legitimate group, band. I don't know. Band.
Yeah, they are actually. The concert is in collaboration with the Quad City Arts Visiting Artists Series. So typically we bring in like maybe 3 or 4 of those events. They've got multiple ones throughout the year, then we kind of pick and choose what works best within our schedule.
Yeah, and that's, again, one of the other things, I'm going to go off on another little mini tangent here, that's great about Muscatine is, we have all these resources of our own, but we're also close enough to like the Quad Cities, Iowa City, and some of those other places that you guys are able to identify like, hey, these guys are like covering the big chunk of it. Let's just tag on and make something really cool for Muscatine.
Yep.
And that's one of the things I love about how you guys approach the Jackson Concert Series is it's not just like, oh, what's the easiest thing to go get, or what's the, it's like, what's going to be cool, what's different, what haven't we done before? I mean, you have a couple of things that you do pretty regularly and consistently, but, there's always, and I might be jumping the shark a little bit here, but there's the singing contractors are coming in November,
yes.
Which, how did that all happen?
We had a recommendation from one of the Wesley Church members, and so we try to, if at all possible, at least look into suggestions, and they've been great with communication, and it's like, we want to do it. So.
Yeah, you've seen, I guarantee you, if you've been on the internet in the last, I don't know how long, you've seen the singing contractors somewhere. And they send a thing over. We're working on actually recording an interview with them for the show, so you guys will get to kind of quote unquote meet them before the concert and stuff like that. Which is, I always think that's great, because when the artists are able to like, even with like the symphony orchestra, when like Atlas was here last year, and a couple of those, I think it's always great for people to be able to see the people behind the performances, because it's how you connect, right? Like it's cool and it's great to go and enjoy the concert and the experience, but if you can understand and just get a little bit of glimpse of those people that are doing it, you realize they're just like you, they're just people doing their thing. Their thing just happens to be way cooler than my thing of sitting around talking, right? So what are you looking forward to most about Thursday?
About Thursday, I think the variety. There's going to be, I grew up being a drummer throughout high school, and so just the intensity of the drums and also like the gospel type songs, it's just going to be really inspiring. So if it's like, I love this for 5 minutes, and then it's like, okay, but now it's going to switch, or it's sometimes you get into a concert and it's kind of like the same for an hour or two.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be pivoting all over. So.
Which, for guys like me, and I've told this, and I actually told, we've got the Mighty Muskie Marching Band coming up next. I was telling them before we came on that like I can appreciate music. I have zero musical talent. Like, I cannot clap in rhythm. Like, don't ask me to do it. My cousin was an awesome drummer, percussionist. He can, like, whatever. He got all the talent in the family when it comes to music. And so when I see stuff like this, I can appreciate it all. Like, and if you can keep it moving and give me different things to start trying to figure out how in the heck are they doing that? Like watching the symphony, I'm like, how do you get 50 people to all do something different that comes out sounding like that?
Yeah.
And this is the same kind of thing for me. Is I just look at it in absolute wonder, because I know it's something I could never do. So to kind of recap on this one, we've got Thursday at 2.
Yes.
At Wesley.
Yep.
Which is right on the corner of Iowa and 4th. Pretty easy. And it's just going to be I would almost say for Jackson, a wild afternoon is almost what it sounds like.
Kind of nonstop energy, I think.
Yeah, I think, and that's what more can you ask for on a Thursday afternoon? What other town has a concert on a Thursday afternoon that you can go to and get pumped up for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so that's awesome. And of course, thank you to the entire Jackson team, because I know it's not just you that does it, to bring this stuff into the community, because it's definitely a huge resource, isn't the right word, but huge it's a lot of entertainment value. Like, you guys always have something cool. You also have so I kind of jumped the shark a little bit. the singing contractors aren't until November,
Yeah,
the beginning of November.
3rd. Yeah.
But at the end of this month, you also have Greg Hand. What does that concert look like?
So he's the professor of organ at the University of Iowa. He taught me organ. Most of my organ experience is from him. It's sort of an organ recital along with some vocalists from MHS that are going to be soloing, and he's going to be accompanying them on organ. And so it's just sort of a little bit different take on an organ recital. And so I think it's going to be really exciting.
That's kind of cool. And, again, I was trying to tie it to my experiences because it's the only way I understand it. I grew up at First Baptist where, you had my only real experience with an organ was organ, piano, and a bunch of people singing out of key. No offense, First Baptist folks. But you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know that I ever really got like a true organ experience. So that's actually one that I looked at. I'm like, you know what? That would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's October 29th at 4 p.m., a Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m.
So again, all the Jackson stuff is completely free. You just kind of go kind of behind the church, park back there, park on 4th Street, and kind of come in you can either come in the back door. I call it your back door. I don't know if it really is or not.
Come in the main entrance.
Yeah.
Right on West 4th Street.
Yeah, and you just kind of pop right on up there and they'll get you in. And it's a great venue for things like this. You have a lot of space. You have great acoustics.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. It's not sterile. And what I mean, it's a real place. It's not just like this big open hall with blank walls, and you feel like you're really inside of everything going on. So,
So come hear some contemporary global fusion on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. Anything else major that we need to drop?
Just yesterday, the Muscatine Youth Choir sang for the Crop Hunger Walk, and so you can people can still donate to alleviate hunger in Muscatine County and around the world. Just go to Muscatine Crop Hunger Walk, Google that, and you'll be able to find a place where you can donate.
Awesome.
So they did a great job, and even though it's pretty warm out there.
it would have been. I'm glad I was inside. But so one last time, Thursday.
Yep, Thursday, October 5th at 2 p.m.
I am off the rails today. I apologize. Yeah, Adaawe. Their website is awesome. It goes through, if you want to get like a little preview of what you're going to experience Thursday afternoon. It's a great website, and you'll get a very, very good idea of what's in store for you. So, Dan, thank you as always.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And we'll work on getting those singing contractors on the show here real quick, because you guys are going to love that. Muscatine's going to absolutely love that. And we will be right back after the break with a handful of the Mighty Muskie Marching Band, and noticeably absent Band Director Jeff Heid.
Did we mention quality matters?
Welcome to our Cut Quality Center. Let's take a closer look.
Our mowers provide superior
Laser precision cut quality.
for a perfectly manicured lawn.
Let's break this down in science terms. This grass is cut good. This grass is cut not as good.
Hustler Turf. Mow like a pro.
Stop in to Muscatine Lawn and Power at 2020 Stewart Road to see Hustler quality for yourself.
It's time for an update from the Not So Late Show with Austin, brought to you by Unity Point Health.
Listen up, everyone. I've got some news. Things are still kind of crazy out there, and the pandemic is still going on. And it's hard to keep people healthy. And right now, things are really tough for healthcare workers. There are a lot of people needing help with their health. They're working very hard. They're tired. And they are working extra shifts. Well, that would be like when you just get right out of school. You have to go back and do it all over again. Ugh. So there's something you need to know. It's time to be kind. Healthcare workers are doing the best they can to help you. They just need your help too. Take care of yourself however you can with your vaccinations and your healthy habits. But if you get sick, go see your doctor. If you have to wait, be patient. Be a patient. They're real people just like you. And do you know why they're working so hard? For you! So show them a little love, or at least a little bit of kindness. That's one way we can all feel better. Okay, that's all I've got, everyone. Stay safe out there and remember to be kind to healthcare workers.
This has been a special update from the Not So Late Show with Austin. Good night. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back. I think this segment's going to go better. I think. Although I have a bunch of, and I quote, sassafras next to me here. I had a lot of hope for the future of the world until I heard that. I'm not sure which one of them. Is it a sassafras is a thing, or is it a quality that one has?
A quality.
Okay. All right. There you go. You heard it here, folks. We have the mighty, well, some of, obviously not the entire Mighty Muskie Marching Band with us here. And you'll also notice one of these things is not like the other. We'll have them introduce themselves real quick and what they do, and then we're going to talk about the Muskie Invitational this weekend. Yeah, we're going to get the mom shout-outs here. We will get mom shout-outs, don't worry.
My name is Gavin McLeod. I'm a senior this year. I'm one of the drum majors for marching band, and I'm a percussionist in concert band.
Hi, I'm Fiona Glenn. I'm a senior, and I play trumpet in concert band. I'm one of the drum majors.
And you're also, little side note, we've got to embarrass her a little bit. You're also what? What did you do last weekend? Or weekend before last?
Oh, homecoming queen.
All hail the queen! All hail the queen!
Sorry, I had to.
I'm Nicole Bovenkamp. I'm a senior, and I'm the color guard captain, and I play trombone in concert band.
I'm Matthew Spees. I'm a junior. I'm also a drum major in the marching band, and I play trumpet in concert band.
My name is Mackenzie Wilkes. I'm one of the drum majors. I'm a junior, and I play flute in concert band.
Okay, so we'll get this out of the way from the beginning. I have to applaud you all for making it all down here on your own and handling this. Most times when students come to be on the show, their leader, their director, their advisor comes with. And I noticed Mr. Heid is not here.
He wants absolutely nothing to do with this. If you're watching, we all love you, Mr. Heid, but you hate people, so you don't want to be here at all. So.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. He did have a class, so I guess in his defense, he did have to teach, kind of.
Well, we could have totally brought the show out there.
That would have been great. Actually, and by the time we started, he was done with class, so he could have joined us if he cared to.
We could dial him in, Mr. Heid. We could send you a link. And for those of you that don't know, I have a great relationship, at least I think I do, with Mr. Heid in all the band stuff that we do. And our relationship exists to give each other a hard time. So please don't write letters to anybody that's a joke between Heid and I. And I think it works. But so you guys have the Muskie Invitational this weekend. And so for those that don't know, what is that?
So we will be having 23, right? 23. We'll be having 23 regional bands come to our stadium. They'll start roughly around 5, I think. 4 or 5-ish. Bands will start, and then they'll play throughout the night, competing for first, second, third, different placings, including 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A, which are different groupings depending on the size of our schools. Muscatine is personally 4A, and then we perform at 10:40. We perform at 10:40 as like an exhibition.
Wait, at night?
At night.
We can hear this from my house. I just want everybody to know that. So we will.
Good luck sleeping.
Yeah, Sunday's gonna be rough. No.
And so we're the exhibition, so we are not competing for any placement. We're just kind of like hey, this is our show since you're at our invitational.
So you're just showing off?
Exactly.
Yeah. Got it, okay. So I will say, you guys have done the show twice at home football games?
Yes.
I think we've had 3.
We did the homecoming show once, though.
Oh yeah,
it was like a modified,
and then homecoming was a different show.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a baseball-themed show. And this is, you can go back and watch it on It would have been the first 2 home football games. And you won't be able to hear it, of course, because we can't play the music because Facebook and YouTube throw us in jail if we do. So we try and show it, and we kind of play a little bit and talk over it. But it's a whole baseball thing. I mean, it's like full Field of Dreams on the football field. You guys bring out a huge scoreboard and bases. How big are those bases?
I think the bases are 3 feet by 3 feet, and they're a foot off the ground. So there's different times in the show where people stand on the bases. So they're clearly elevated, and they get to look special for a little bit. So
and we saw you guys playing with them. The color guard was practicing in the same area as my son's football team, and so you get to see like these little behind the scenes, like how they actually do it. It's really actually kind of cool to like just see you guys like, oh hey, there's a huge base, and we're running like.
We had to use field markers as the bases because they were in the trailers, but we needed to know where they were, so we had spacing right, so we used extra field markers.
But and again, it was funny because I was sitting there and like we had to practice early because of course it starts getting darker, and so like usually they're like you guys are done as we're like rolling on and when you guys use the field, but like it was kind of cool because Melissa and I were sitting there and we're like, they're goofing off playing football, and then we're just kind of like sitting there watching you guys, way more entertaining. And I'm like, that's the baseball thing. Like that's what that's got it. Like it, and it just even without all the other stuff, you knew exactly what was going on. So how did you guys end up selecting the baseball team? Do you know?
Matthew, you want to do this one? Do you remember?
I know earlier on we did do a baseball show 10 years ago, so 2012 it was, and from what we heard from Mr. Heid, it was a really good show, and so he brought it back this year, and it's been going really good so far.
So every year Plummer and Heid switch who picks the show. So last year Mr. Plummer was in charge picking the music and the theme, Dark Side of Rock, and so this year Mr. Heid he's talked about the baseball show a lot. That's one of his favorite shows, so he decided to bring it back, and it's been a lot of fun.
And, you know, I don't want to spoil the show too much, but the good guys win in the end, right? So it's a nice, uplifting story. And, like, the music is great. Like, it's so there's Put Me in Coach. What all do you guys play?
Sure.
Yeah.
So our selections are Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Cheap Seats, Field of Dreams, and Center Field.
Yeah. So if you have listened to any baseball game, anything at all, you're going to recognize all of these instantly.
Oh yeah. We even have some people singing along in the crowd sometimes.
Oh yeah, I totally would believe it because it was really tempting to do. Like I have a mic. Like I said, I have no musical talent. No. No, that is absolutely the last thing you would see.
You don't even need to hear us. We can just listen to you.
Yeah, that's a really bad idea. YouTube, here's the thing, YouTube and Facebook would probably pull it, even though it didn't match at all. They would probably still pull it just because it's, offensive to people's auditory nerves or something. So what all do you guys do while the rest of the concerts are going on? Like, are you guys helping facilitate the whole thing, or do you guys just hang out and watch?
For the Invitational?
Yeah.
So the entire band can do multiple jobs. For example, Gavin and Kenzie here will be leading bands to the field and off to separate stations for practice and stuff like that.
Do you ever think about leading them off somewhere else entirely in just like a bad movie and just like...
Why would you think that?
I was just asking if you did. I'm not saying I thought you did. It's something that would come to my mind, I'll be honest.
So there's a lot that needs done to help run this. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, from setup beforehand, concessions, making sure students aren't dumb when they enter the stands.
Good luck with that one.
Oh yeah. So there's just a lot of different stuff that the band has to help with to make sure everything runs smoothly, and especially with it being the biggest fundraiser the band does. Yeah. It's important that it runs well. Yeah,
so Chris, do you have the graphic there handy to kind of show when it is? And so basically, no, it doesn't pop up there. It's the people at home get to see it. And so it is a huge fundraiser for you guys.
And a lot of the band parents are the ones who actually run concessions. Like, the students are kind of doing small little things, but like, if you go to a marching competition, typically people will block off the stairs so that way you're not interrupting a performance, so people can continue watching the performance, not have to see you walking by as the show is going. And so like sometimes we have to put parents there, but typically they're like at concessions. And actually, one of our biggest selling things is cup of SpaghettiOs. Like, I would never guess it, but people love the SpaghettiO cups.
Seriously, I'm in. I'm there. Like, I'm the guy. I will admit this. I have been known to eat SpaghettiOs straight out of the can. Just
warm up?
No, no. It's easy because you just take that in a plastic spoon.
They're already cooked.
They're cooked, and you just. I mean, it's a. I live a weird life. It's okay.
That's what's in my lunchbox right now. I got SpaghettiOs. So.
I don't feel so bad then. Like, and
I eat that every day.
And I know. At least your dad, I know he's responsible. So if he's letting you eat that, it's, I feel much better about my eating knowing that they're letting you do the same thing. So if there was one thing that you wish people knew about, like the marching band competitions or band in general, what do you think it would be that they might not know?
The bands love it when you clap and you cheer, and when you, like, if there's a song sing along. The bands love the feedback. It lets them play more freely and have more fun with it.
Well, and like also when we get crowd's reaction, the band typically tends to perform better because they're seeing that the crowd is interacting with them and it's pushing them to go and do better, instead of when people don't respond, they kind of just like play at the same type beat.
Going off of what Fiona said, it's easier to play to a crowd that's interactive with you and is giving you like positive cheers and everything, and compared to a crowd that isn't interactive and that's just kind of dead.
You have something?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I feel like not related to those statements at all. I feel like a lot of sports, when people compete, they compete for like placements. I feel like more of what we do is just to improve as an individual and as a group together.
So do you know about how many kids are in our marching band?
So we have about 110 in the marching band and about 175 in concert band this year. We have a
Holy cow.
much larger concert band than usual this year.
So one thing that they also, so of course they play at the football games. They also play at basketball games. And one thing that I have asked, pep band. One thing that I've asked Mr. Heid several times, but he refuses to help me with this, is you guys are so loud, we can't hear ourselves in our headsets. Like when we're talking in the pregame and you guys are playing, you like completely we're at the far opposite end of the gym. We've got like, we'll put up like little blocking things. We still can't hear ourselves talking to each other over you guys.
Acoustics are so bad in the gym.
Yeah.
So
They are. It echoes and it's a disaster. But that said, it's great. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? But I just always give them a hard time. Like, we literally have to, like, whatever we're talking about when you guys fire up, we just kind of stop for a little bit and just, or we cut, I hate to say it, but in that case, we cut to commercial because it's so loud, like we can't do anything with it. Yeah. So, but it's always a blast. And, you guys do a great job of, and I know this is pep versus marching versus whatever, but I'm going to guess there's a lot of carryover, right? Of like, firing up the student section, which the student section now compared to like when I was there is 1,000 times better. Your student section, and you guys kind of fire them up and go, but they're 1,000 times more engaged than we ever were.
Well, and like something that's like kind of grown over the years, like COVID kind of held us back, but then like something that I've noticed like throughout my years at the high school, the student body has been more like engaging with the band. Like I remember like my sophomore year, like the school didn't really engage with the band. They acted like, they don't exist. But like now, like they're like very encouraging of the band. They'll tell kids thank you as they pass, type thing.
It's a totally different environment, and I've talked with several kids about this, and I want to make sure that you guys hear this from, I hate to say that I'm an adult, but an adult. You guys have had a significantly different, and in some ways tougher, in some ways, I'm going to say easier, but tougher adolescence, right? And I will say this, across the board, looking at you guys as a whole, you've all done extremely well, right? You're all so much kinder, empathetic, understanding, and engaging than my generation ever was. And sorry, class of 97, you know I'm right. And, you know, I want you guys to hear that. Like, don't think, yeah, okay, you know, the common thing is like, oh, the kids today are lazy, whatever. Is there a lazy kid? Yeah, I'm sure there is. There was. But as a whole, whether I'm working like with the Muskie Minutes kids or like watching you guys in band or the student athletes, or you're all doing something. You've all found your niches way sooner, I think, than we did. You're all a lot more self-confident, a lot more confident in what you do and like who you are and what you become. So don't ever let that slide. Like, you know, if some old person's giving you crap, just let them give you crap, move on, know that they're not right. You know, because I go back to the little fake shooting last year, not to bring up a bad, you guys all handled that way better, because there were some kids out at the show as that was all happening. You guys handled it way better. You guys, like, we would have just been a disaster. And you guys all just sort of rolled with it and did your thing. So not now, just everything got really melancholy all of a sudden. So we got, okay, so let's get rid of that. So favorite thing about any of the bands that you participate in?
That's really hard to pick from.
Jeff Heid.
That's an easy one. That is an easy one. We all love Mr. Heid and Mr. Plummer. They're great. They help us so much. I've learned a lot about percussion, and between Mr. Heid and Mr. Plummer, I've decided that I want to become a music teacher. So I think thanks to those two, that they really helped me find that. So that's probably my favorite part. Those two are outstanding.
I would say the friend group I've gained. In middle school, it was kind of like iffy, like I was in different friend groups, but like band truly like brings you a different type of home than just like not being in band.
Yeah. Going off of that, like the family that band provides you, because you always know that you have somewhere to go, instead of being unsure of if you have people to go to or not. With band, you always have those people.
I agree with them. The community is amazing. I love the community. It's people there to support you. We all have that common goal of getting better. But also we go throughout that with the year. We have marching band, we have jazz band, we have pep band. There's pit that some people will do, but it's a lot of, we're all doing that together. We're all going through it.
I agree with what you guys were saying. I found, like, personally, a lot of friends, a community to come back to. Even after high school, we're always, welcome back to come back to band room, see our band directors, and it's a really great experience overall.
Okay, so quick recap. Saturday is the Muskie Invitational, and it starts at what time?
Somewhere between 4 and 5. I'm going to guess 4. Okay.
Chris, can you pull the magical thing back up so that we don't misspeak?
Perfect. Thank you.
4:45. 4:45.
There we go.
Okay.
Bands on the field.
Yep.
Bands on the field. They'll be playing literally all night long.
Correct.
If you want, you could probably come sit in my front yard and you can hear it. And we live like across the bypass. Like I want you. So like we live like across the bypass, like over on Canterbury.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
And when you guys fire up, we can hear you.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like we can see the lights from the stadium, and like, oh yeah.
That's awesome.
We can totally hear you guys. So yeah, he's like, well, I hadn't done the math on that, had you? Like, it is actually, but there's not a lot in between us, and it's like down, but
we don't need to add that.
yeah, no, I'm just saying. I mean, it's and it is kind of cool because like everyone, very rarely is something going on over there that I'm not at, but
Yeah.
like like this, I won't be there all night, but like just to hear that throughout, like people know when you guys are doing stuff, which is pretty cool. So. Holy cow. Anything else? Any other shout outs that you need to do? Moms, sisters, yep.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Aya. Okay.
Okay.
We want to thank Candace Jebkis for setting this up.
Yep.
She was a big help. And everyone else, the band boosters is amazing. We want to thank you for everything from helping at competitions to games to the tailgates before games. They're great.
And we're going to do the first plug for something here. You guys didn't know this, but it just sort of dawned on me that we should start promoting the Nut House.
There we go.
So
those sales do start soon.
Yeah, so Jingle and Mingle, the holiday stroll, will be the first Friday in December, as always, which is the first. Oh, sweet. We'll just make it a whole big birthday party for you. How's that?
Okay.
We'll let you take center stage with Tiny for a little bit.
Oh, let's not.
Oh, that's totally a thing now.
Birthday party for the Queen.
That's well. Last year we had a proposal happen at center stage. So, yeah, that was actually kind of cool. So, do you know where you guys will be? I assume
We will be at the Nut House, so it's at the Friendship Center.
the Sino-American Friendship
Yes.
Center, right next to the Pearl Button Museum.
Yep.
Or the old Marie Lindsay building, if you're old like me. You guys kind of take over like the right half of it or so.
Yep.
And you can go in and buy the magical nuts that come every holiday season and make sure that you guys can do all the things you need to do.
Or if you know a specific band member or want to know a specific band member, it's more beneficial that way. Or if you like go in, you can say a band member's name, because then some of the profits go to that band member and they can use it, say, towards getting new mouthpiece, new reeds. They can use some of that money to go towards anything they may need for their instrument.
The New York trip.
Or the New York trip that we go on.
Oh, what's the New York trip?
So after COVID, all three music departments went to New York together. It was the spring of 22? Spring of 2022, maybe.
Yeah, because you guys were supposed to go like overseas, like right as COVID started.
Orchestra, I think, was going to.
Orchestra was, yeah. Like I remember there was a whole thing about go, don't go. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Which the right thing was like you guys didn't go,
Yes,
which is unfortunate, but it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah.
But so all three.
So yes, all three music departments are going to go. It will be the spring of 25. So yeah, not this.
Yep, not
this
this
school year,
spring.
but the following school year. And so any of the band nuts that are sold, they can use that profit towards paying towards the New York trip.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So buy nuts.
Absolutely.
Buy nuts.
Or
Right?
chocolate. They sell chocolate too.
Oh, they do.
They do.
I did not know that.
Malted milk balls, especially.
Oh, that's a thing.
Or turtles.
Turtles. Yeah.
Turtles. I just assumed. This is. I always thought it was just cashews.
No.
Like
I love cashews.
Well, I mean,
though,
like
so
I know
that's
there's
all right.
more than cashews, but like that's like everywhere you see them, it's literally like the big things of cashews everywhere you go. So again, quick recap. Saturday, 4:45, we decided, listen all night, come help them raise some money, listen to some cool bands, stay for theirs at the end because you will like absolutely enjoy. What is the actual name of the show?
Play ball.
Play ball. Okay. I mean, like when they roll the scoreboard out, how tall is that scoreboard? Do you know? It's got to be 20, 25 feet. Yeah. I mean, it's huge.
So for those of you who know baseball, it's supposed to imitate the Green Monster in Fenway in Boston. So
Yes.
for those of you who know that, there's your little tidbit.
And they're working on making it accurate by the show's end.
Mr. Heid.
Mr. Heid. Little vinyl sticky will go a long way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go watch the show because then you'll totally get it. But again, absolute blast. Thank you guys for stopping in. I don't want to know how you got out of school to come here. We'll just leave that
Mr.
alone. But good luck on Saturday. I mean, not that you guys are competing, but just in your performance and everything. Have a blast, raise a bunch of money, and then make sure you guys send us some pictures and stuff.
Of course.
And we'll make sure we let everybody know how you guys did. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, and we'll see you guys. I assume you'll be there Friday night for the game, right? Yep.
So yeah, like if you can't make it Saturday, we'll perform at both home games.
Yep.
Both this Friday and the following Friday.
Yep.
And then we will perform twice, Saturday the 13th. Is that right? Yeah. Saturday the 13th. Saturday the 14th, whatever that Saturday is. We'll perform at Davenport at Brady Street Stadium.
Right. Oh, yeah, not here. Okay. Yeah. That's their state comp. Yeah. Sorry. I was like, I don't think there's anything going on here. I'm like,
another home
where?
one.
I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, if you can't make it Saturday, you can come out to either the football games and we'll perform at halftime there too. So
awesome. Well, again, thank you guys very much. Mr. Heid, I apologize. I'll just leave it at that. And Muscatine, that's your show for this Monday. So go attack the rest of the day with an enthusiasm unknown to man.